Hello everyone and welcome to the Rally Show, and I'd like to start by thanking my channel sponsor once again. That's 5-Star Vehicle Delivery. So a bit fortunate this week we've got the 2019 European Rally Champion Chris Ingram here. Chris, you're on holiday I believe. Where are you at?
I wouldn't say holiday, I'd say just a few days to get my head into gear, bit of preparation, training, ready for Greece. So I'm just half an hour south of Athens, picking up Craig on Friday night and then testing this weekend.
A bit of R&R. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Got to congratulate you on Ypres. What a great result, you know. What was your mindset going into that event?
Yeah, thanks. It was, I've not done it for 5 years, but I know the rally quite well. And I think all year I've shown massive progress. You know, in Monty, the pace was really strong. If it wasn't for the gear lever snapping off, then we would have arguably been first or second. If you take that time we lost away, and then on gravel we went really well. So I was definitely aiming for, you know, a top result. And then we did that Stardon rally the week before, and we were easily second quickest to Mikkelsen there, quicker than Stefan Lefebvre. But then he obviously took it up another level in Ypres. But yeah, it was, I felt strong going into it, and I think it was one of my best performances.
Great. That the Men in Gate, how did that tribute thing come about for you?
Well, every time I go, we always go and pay our respects there. And my dad organised the reef, the memorial reef. And we just turned up on was it Wednesday or Thursday, and they saw that, you know, we got the reef, so they invited us to pay our respects in a more official way. The WRC1 guys were, you know, the organisers got them to come and do it. But they asked me if I would read the speech.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big honour, and more nerve-wracking than the whole rally. But yeah, it's a very powerful place to go.
I'll bet you. Let's go back to the start of your career, Chris. It was 2009 you started out in the Saxon juniors.
Yeah.
What was your kind of aims in those days? Were you just trying to? Did you have a long-term ambition? You know, to be up at the top fighting for major rallies and stuff, or was it just a case of I've started rallying and this is fantastic? I mean, you do seem a very competitive person to me.
Yeah, it was always I've got to win, really. Mm-hmm. And my dad, my dad's never pushed me, but just if you know the people that know my dad, they know, you know, he's a strong character. And I was always quite a shy kid, you know, very quiet, and I wasn't very confident because I was the smallest kid in school and I got battered. And, you know, as soon as my dad introduced me to rallying, that was my life. But anyway, going back to when I started competing, I didn't have massive confidence to go and say, I need to win this. But I guess I did have goals and just kept on chasing each goal and kept on ticking them off. And step by step, I've got to this point.
I bet you couldn't wait for the juniors to be over, so you could get into, I think, did you go into the Tringo after that?
Yeah.
3 years in the juniors, you know, it must be kind of like, come on, hurry up, you know?
Yeah, well, I did a few rallies in the C1 in the forests.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people actually noticed me more, because we were actually doing some giant killing in the little 1 litre. And then we got the Twingo, and that was, you know, by far the worst car in its class.
Right.
But it was, you know, it was so difficult to drive that I must have, you know, earned a lot of skill trying to keep it on the road.
You won the championship, didn't you, in 2013?
Yeah, but to be fair, there was only 2 or 3 in it. But I did win a drive in a Clio R3 in France at Rallye du Var when
Yes.
I was 18, and that was the first time it really opened my eyes up to professional rallying, because France is just another level to BRC. And then the next year we went and did a few European rally. We did EPRO, we did a few ERC rounds, and we quickly realized we need to carry on rallying in Europe because the BRC was dying and there was a lot more opportunities, and I fell into those opportunities. Well, I didn't fall in, but I showed really good speed in the Twingo. Got picked up by Peugeot UK.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I really thought, I can do this. I can make a career out of this. But you've got, for me, obviously my dream is to be world champion. It's always been my dream, but you've got to take it step by step as well and not get delusional.
Absolutely. You mentioned France there, Chris. You mentioned that it was a step up from the BRC. In what way?
The level of competition, the events, it's just everything about it. You know, like we did one rally Mont Blanc in Morzine, and thousands of people are there. It's just a beautiful place. There was about 30 Twingos or something stupid in a, in one make series, but in the BRC they were getting like 10 cars in total, and it was just another level in every way. Yeah, and there was prize money.
How did you get on with that? With so many Twingos, did you do okay?
Third or fourth, but the top few guys were absolutely rapid, and the pace was unbelievable. Honestly, I bet even now, the pace on the championships like France and Italy, it's up there with maybe not quite WRC2, but it's pretty close.
How did you find the Peugeot to drive?
The Peugeot was a good step from the Twingo, but the Opel was the best.
Was that 2016 you went into the Adam?
Yeah, and the Opel team were like a mini WRC team.
Really?
So that was an amazing opportunity to get into that team with 2 German teammates. Yeah, that was a hell of a chance, and I learned a lot there, and I had a great engineer who he would get in the car with me and look at how I was driving, then make a few changes to the car, I would get back in it, and it would just be like a PlayStation. It would just fit me perfectly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Technicians, how did you get on against your German teammates?
So in the first year, on the last round, my car broke down, and my German teammate won.
Right, okay.
But then in the second year, I won the championship against Huttonen was my teammate that year.
Oh, really?
I had a good battle with him, but I won 3 events and got 2 podiums. He only won 1 event, I think.
Ah, good.
So to be fair though, he was unbelievably quick. On all the tests. He was so fast, but then we'd get to the rally and I'd be a bit quicker. But on all the tests, he was much quicker than me.
That doesn't mean anything, does it? When the flag drops, the bullshit stops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you eventually got to the Skoda. Was that 2018?
Yeah, TalkSport had noticed my performances in the Adam. I think the main one was on Rally GB in the dark. We caught them past 2 R5 cars.
Right.
And we were like up with the top 3 or 4 WRC2 cars, but in an Opel Adam. And I went to meet TalkSport, who were relatively unknown by then, and they offered me this incredible deal to do the ERC in the black 11 degrees Skoda. You might have seen it.
Lovely.
My first year in a 4-wheel drive car, so that was another massive step. Like every opportunity has been the right one, and people criticize me for not going to WRC, but it was unaffordable at that point and there was no opportunity there, so the ERC served me well.
thing is, Chris, if you jump into the WRC too quick, it could ruin a man. You know, it
Say
could ruin your.
say again, sorry.
If you jump into like the WRC too quick, it could ruin you financially, everything.
It has with a lot of guys.
Aye, absolutely. Anyway, people are fond of criticising, aren't they? Sports people. But that was a good year. You had a fourth, a third, and a second, didn't you? I think you were second in Latvia at the end of the year. Is that right?
Yeah. So we were getting quicker and quicker, and then I did Turkey as well, my first foreign WRC event, and the strategy was just to be really careful and avoid problems, because TalkSport from Turkey, they said this rally is going to be brutal. It's going to be the toughest WRC event for ages, and it was. You might remember that I think more than half of the competitors retired or broke down. At one point, I was 7th overall and first WRC2, just from driving carefully. But then I got a puncher on one of the last stages and dropped to 3rd WRC2. But it was still a mega achievement, and I think we got noticed a bit there.
What is your favourite event in the ERC? Is it Azores?
Yeah, the Azores is the volcano stage is the best stage in the world.
Really?
Yeah, it's the pictures don't even do it justice. When you're there, it's like, how is this place on the planet and how are we rallying it? But Rome's good as well, and Barham's a tough rally.
Was that last week? Barham, was it?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of crashes last week, wasn't there? Very dodgy.
It's a pretty dangerous rally, but it's a classic.
So 2019, that was a big year for you, Chris. Was it 2 wins, Portugal? No, was it just a 1 win? Was it Portugal in 2019?
I didn't win.
Did you not win in Portugal?
No, I finished 2nd and 3rd like all year.
Oh, right, okay, I'm wrong.
Championship, yeah, I didn't win a round. But to be fair to me, Lucky Nook was unbelievably quick, and my team, my main sponsor pulled out at the start of the year.
I know. I was going to say that to you.
I had to beg, borrow, and steal to carry on the whole season, and my team said, if you crash, it's finished. I mean, I obviously didn't have the money to pay for any damage.
I mean, but you started Did you start a crowdfunding?
I was just going to say, yeah, that was probably one of the best things to ever happen. That I think it was 500 people contributed for me to get to the final round to take on Lucky Nook, and we were quickest in qualifying, and we had a few stage wins on day one to put us in. I think all we had to do was finish 3rd.
Yeah.
We were comfortably in 2nd. I got a puncher, dropped to 3rd, but it's still comfortable. Then we got a puncher on the last stage as well, dropped to 4th, which meant we'd lost the title. But then we found out Lucky Nook also had a puncher and dropped to 2nd. So
did he hit the same rock as you, Chris?
It was in the same section, so possibly, but I've no idea where we got it.
But that wait, I felt sorry for you with that half an hour wait to know if you're the champion or not. I mean, how did that feel when it comes through over the radio?
It was unbelievable, because I thought my career was over.
Right.
I got into a lot of debt to carry on to the last rally. And after, knowing we dropped to 4th of the last year, I can't, it was just horrific. But then when there was a chance, I was just praying to God, even though I didn't believe in God, that I would win it. And
we're talking about it being a really successful year for you, but it was possibly one of the worst years of your life, wasn't it? You had a lot of mental health issues, didn't you, that year?
Yeah, a lot of personal stuff, struggles as well as the pressure from rallying, the stress from rallying, and trying to keep my dreams alive. So all of that combined, and my dad got ill as well. It was really, really difficult, but it's making me stronger now. 2 years later, that's the positive.
How did you manage to get through that? I imagine that winning the ERC helped, but on a personal level, how did you get through that?
I won the ERC, but it didn't really mean anything to me at the time, because COVID happened. I lost all my sponsors that I'd worked hard to get, and then I was out of the car for 18 months again. So it was last April, about 18 months ago. I managed to get the funding together to restart my career, and straight into WRC2 after not driving for that long. So I was still in a pretty bad place, to be honest. I didn't tell anyone at the time when I was getting back into WRC2, but I wasn't in a good place. I was still struggling, and those first few rallies back were like hell, because I couldn't drive like me, because I was in such a bad place mentally. I was holding so much tension, and I was struggling with my thoughts on on the start line, and it was hell, and I didn't know how to deal with it. Still, I was still learning ways.
This is a thing. You look at a young laddie like yourself, going all over the world, driving these rally cars. People would kill for that. Yeah, we've all got demons,
Yeah, massively. It's not what it's not how it looks on Instagram, is it?
But let's talk about funding. Let's talk about the structure of the sport. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the French get help from their federation, these top French drivers and that.
Yeah.
Nothing in the UK. Have you ever actually contacted the MSUK in any way to see if they could help or anything? Let's face it, Chris, you're the first British European champion in 52 years, was it?
Yeah.
Right, so I don't know, they could maybe be a wee bit obligated to help you. That's just the way I see it. Did you ever contact them? Or
I have, but I've not really got anywhere. I was on antidepressants 18 months ago, and I got banned. Right. So I wasn't allowed to compete.
Oh, no.
That's what I got from Motorsport UK.
Oh, Jesus. That's dreadful. Well,
yeah.
It's just
rather than maybe some support, but
Did they offer you support in any way, Chris?
So the coaches at the MSA Academy are mega, and some of the girls there, but there's just not. I just don't feel there's. I'm probably talking a bit too much here, but there needs to be more support.
Mm-hmm.
And for the future of rallying in the UK, there needs to be more support from them.
What would you change? I mean, there's no structure, really, is there? You can go the very, very expensive way to the top, and even then you're not guaranteed. There's no real ladder in the sport. What would you change? Is there anything you could pinpoint that you would change to help a young guy like you, who's very, very fast, can they get to the top?
It's hard to say when you don't know, the funding they've got, and it's hard to say. Mm-hmm. But the academy has its benefits, but it's about money, isn't it? And a lot of these guys, all the guys in circuit racing, they're multi-millionaires anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for them. But the motorsport at the moment is just a sport for rich people, and it's not a sport. It's just a game and a hobby for rich people, and it's not a sport. Because sport, the best athletes or players or whatever get to the top, but in rallying, only the people that can afford to can. Surely there's got to be some kind of reward system to champion, like the junior BRC, or there's got to be some investment.
I remember watching your interview with James English, and he was astounded that there's no prize money.
Mm.
How many sports in the world offer you nothing? Rallying's one of the dearest sports in the world, the most expensive to compete in at your level, and yet there's nothing. I know you've probably got some for winning ERC, but in general, there's nothing.
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 No.
I mean, did they offer you any kind of mental health support?
No.
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 They're
You're
not
on
saying,
your own, Bob. I'm on my own. That's
don't
the
worry about
truth.
thinking you're saying too much on here, because there were people watching this going, that's terrible, and agreeing with you, you know. Anyway,
I'm just thankful for the the rally community.
Mhm.
I've had amazing support from the community, not just in the UK, either in France and Belgium and wherever. You've got to hand it to the people like you. You obviously love rallying with all your heart, and there's a lot of people like you and me, and that's we're the backbone of the sport, really, not these people that call the shots.
You're absolutely right. Couldn't agree more. There's a lot of good people in rallying, but you're right. It comes down to finance. A lot of great drivers out there can't go anywhere. There's
Yeah.
nothing for them, Very frustrating. So last year you were in the WRC3.
Yeah.
How do you feel that went for you, Chris, last year?
It was just getting back up to speed. Didn't really have a target, just learn the events, get to the finish of them all, which I did. And then this year I came out all guns blazing, really, and still a lot more to come.
I've always felt that you're hamstrung. You've got what do you do in your situation? Do you stick or twist? Because finance, if you put the car off, so you could never show your true worth.
Yeah.
You can't go at 10 tenths ever, really, can't. Am I right there?
Yeah, it's true.
It's just,
I've not crashed a car for 6 years, touch wood.
yeah, you've got a really good record. Really good record. Did you have a big accident? Do you know, one of my questions was, what's your biggest accident? I know you've had a few. What was your biggest accident?
In Barham in the Peugeot, I rolled 6 times and my helmet came off.
Right, okay.
The strap sort of slipped up my chin and it came off, but it was stuck behind my hands device. And I was very lucky. And that scared me quite a lot. But since then, I've not had a big off.
I mean, you must always be conscious of this, not crashing. Always up here. These top boys didn't have that. You're a top boy, but I'm talking about the WRC1 guys.
Yeah.
The number one drivers up there, they don't have that, But this year you've had no retirement.
Do a rally, and I'd love to be given the chance to do a rally and go, just go absolutely flat out, and if you crash, it doesn't matter. I would love that opportunity.
Here's a question for you, Chris, and I'd appreciate an honest answer. How fast are you? If you're the top 10, if you're in a Rally 1 car, who would be quicker than you? If you had a couple of seasons in it, who do you think would be quicker than you?
A couple of seasons in one.
And just be honest, I mean, it's not arrogant.
I believe that I've got the ability to go to the top, or I wouldn't be wasting my time. I believe that I could go all the way. I think Rovanperä is a freak. Maybe he's another level, but I'd like to think that if I was in the car as much as the others, I could beat any of the others. And I don't know, Rovanperä is just a freak, isn't he?
Scary lad, eh?
But he makes mistakes as well.
Don't think he makes many.
But
I don't think he makes many, Chris, for his age.
No. But you know what I mean? He's got, in Ypres, that was Caleb being really critical. But yeah, the other guys, they've been there for 10, 15 years. And I like to think if I had the same opportunity, I'd definitely be up with them and beating them.
Mm-hmm. So what is your aims this year? You know, and how do you see the next few years going for you, Chris?
So I focused on the juniors this year, junior WRC2, which, you know, it's for my sponsors. If I win a title in WRC, it'll be massive for me and massive for my PR. But next year, I'm definitely going for WRC2 overall. We're getting closer and closer to a win, closer and closer to Mikkelson's pace, and that's, you know, step by step, but that's definitely the plan.
I like the way you think. You know, it's still stepped out. You know, I kind of like that.
Because the massive steps, people don't realize it, and so many guys have gone into a WRC car too soon and crash every rally and finish 8th every rally. And I'm not here to do that. You know, I want to win WRC2 and prove that I belong there. That's the only way for me, and I think that should be everyone.
I would argue that if you got up to that WRC1 pace with these very top guys, there could be more accidents because you would be going at 10/10s.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are bloody special, you know. Some of them just toot along and get 5th place every rally, 6th place, you know, and they seem to be okay with that. I mean, how do you prepare fitness-wise, Chris? Are you still going to the gym and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, every day I'll do something.
Aye.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a photo up of yourself and you're all ripped and everything.
That was after like 200 press-ups, though, that picture.
Oh, it made me feel like an old fart, honestly. No, it's do you remember your dad actually when he was competing all those years ago? You'll not remember the road rally days, will you?
No, I wasn't alive then, but I always hear about it.
Okay.
I can't believe how popular it still is. It blows my mind that, you know, my dad will put a picture on of him road rallying and it'll get more likes than us in Ypres or something.
Aye.
The fan base, the fan, you know, the amount of people that love road rallying is just incredible.
You want to see the speeds? Group 4 cars in the lanes. It was they had to ban it. It was definitely needed to be banned. It was just going absolutely crazy. But your dad was good. I mind seeing his car in one of the halts. Keswick. Can't remember the rally, but no, he was good. Aye. So anyway, Chris, that's about time. That's it, mate. I've just want to say thank you very much. I know you're a busy man. And what's your next event?
So Greece next week, then Spain in October.
Greece next week. That's a tough one. It's very rough.
Yeah. It'll be it'll probably be the toughest rally of the season, just because it's so hot, so rough, such long stages. But last year we went well, so
I believe they're using
I'm pushing for the win, definitely.
I believe they're using the football stadium again.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. That's what we need more of in the UK, stuff like that.
Absolutely, aye. Right,
Chris, people will laugh at that, but it's true.
No, they've done it for years. I mean, I remember Colin McRae went to the stadium in the Attilio Betigo Stadium. Oh, they used to win it there every year. There was a big rally stage. It was great, you know. They need to do things like, I don't know. It's all about organisers, finance. There's so much into it. It's easy to sit and say they should do that more, but I suppose it's not easy. They would. Chris, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on, and I hope you have a lovely holiday, and I hope you do very well. You've got a new fan here. I'm watching a lot of your stuff, and I'll be shouting for you.
I'm here for the rally, Bob. I'm not on holiday. Don't tell anyone I'm on holiday.
You're doing the recce, aren't you? You're doing a 20-day recce or something?
Testing this weekend.
Okay, thanks very much, Chris. And I'll also thank you for watching, everyone. And a massive thank you to 5-Star Vehicle Delivery for sponsoring the channel. We'll see you soon, and thanks again to Chris. Bye just now.
Cheers.